All right, here's what we're gonna do today. We are going to paint a color wheel, and we are gonna make every color of the rainbow. And I'm only gonna give you 3 colors. I'm gonna give you cool yellow, cool red, and cool blue, and we're gonna make a cool color wheel. Woohoo! And everybody in here I keep plates like this over there on the counter, and I have cups full of paint brushes. There's 2 kinds of paintbrushes you got in here. There's flathead that looks like this, and then there's a round tip one that looks like this. If you want to get one of each, you can, or if you want to just get one, whichever one you want. Probably one of each would be the easiest today. But today's Miss Campbell's first day, and we're going to get her to help you. If you have any problems after this video, probably won't. But we're going to share paint too. Like, I think we should have one plate of paint at each table, because there's only 2 or 3 of y'all at each table. And so you're gonna get about a dime-sized piece of paint. And you're gonna need a paintbrush. You're also gonna need a cup of water. You get your cup of water full. And you're gonna need some paper towels. I'd probably get 2 or 3 of them, have them in your pocket. And the first thing you're gonna do on here is you're gonna read. It says primary colors, and I'm gonna send you a handout that has the primary colors. Just so you don't know, the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. So you're gonna make these circles here are gonna be red, yellow, and blue. So before you mix up anything, it doesn't matter which ones you make. The first primary color doesn't matter, but as long as you, and try your best to stay inside that circle. Every time you get done with a color, you're gonna dab it in the water like this. Make sure there's no paint on your paintbrush, and you're gonna dry it off with a paper towel, and the water turns a really cool color. So you're gonna make sure, since we're mixing color, you want to make sure it's extra clean and extra dry. Then I'm going to go to the next color, which is yellow. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to wash it off. And I don't know if you can see the cup of water, but the cup of water just turned orange. That's because I've rinsed off red and rinsed off yellow. So we're going to do the last color, blue. Here's where the color wheel gets important. It doesn't matter which circle you fill in with the primary colors, but now what you're going to do is, since we're going to make a color wheel, the squares are the secondary colors. So what you're going to do now is make a secondary color. You're going to mix the 2 primary colors, and so since this square is in between red and yellow, it's going to be a mix of red and yellow. So what I'm going to do with my paintbrush is come over here, and I'm going to put some red right there. And then I'm going to wash off my paintbrush again. And this is kind of important. You got to wash it off every time, or you're going to muddy up all your paint. Then you're going to get about half your yellow and mix it here. And on the palette, this is called a palette where you put your paint. You're going to mix that red and yellow together. And this makes orange. And once you get that all stirred up good, then you're going to paint the square in between orange. And I would do the same thing. This square I would mix blue and red. So blue and red would be here. And now, pretty sure y'all are smart enough to figure out what goes here, right? This is a mix of yellow and blue. All right, now that we've got the primary colors and the secondary colors, now what we're going to do is we're going to do this thing called tertiary colors. And a tertiary color is when you mix a primary color and a secondary color, and it's always a hyphenated letter of the 2 colors, and the primary color is first. So this little triangle is going to be a mix of yellow and orange, and it's going to be commonly referred to as yellow orange. Woo! Aren't you excited? And guess what it is? It's a mix of yellow and orange. And the cool thing about this, while y'all working as a group, sharing the palette, everybody at your table can use this orange and this yellow orange and keep going around the room as a team. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna mix some red, and then get you some orange and mix it with the red orange. This is gonna be red orange instead of yellow orange. But you're gonna keep this party going all the way around. And then you're gonna wash off your paintbrush. Make sure everybody at your table's used up all the colors. Then we're gonna take this other sheet. You're gonna make sure you put your name on it with a pen, and you're gonna put this on the drying rackers, which is right, there's a red one right in front of the smart board, and then a black one over there by the storage cabinet. Just make sure your name's on it. You're gonna put it on there, make sure it doesn't touch anybody else. Then you're gonna set this over to the side, and you're gonna move this one in. And in other words, I'm gonna teach you warm colors and cool colors, and this is pretty simple. Any color on this chart between yellow and red, so yellow or red, orange, orange, yellow, orange, and yellow are all warm colors. And anything below these, green, blue, violet, are all the cool colors. So what I want you to do here is just paint 3 warm colors here. And I don't really care which one. I would use the one you have the most of on your board. All right, here's the next part. We're gonna skip the shades for a minute. We're gonna do the complementary colors. Complementary colors are colors that go exactly across from each other on a color wheel. So if you're blue and orange, yellow and purple, red and green, you would have yellow green and red violet. Anything straight across from each other on the color wheel. And what I want you to do on this part down here is pick 2 complementary colors and paint them on the outside. Now here's the beauty of complementary colors. If you mix a complementary color, it makes a neutral color, which it makes, just watch this. If I take some of this green and I mix it with the red, it makes like a muddy color. I'm making a big horrible mess over here. But it should make like a dark gray, muddy black color. And that's a really cool trick to know if you're trying to do something and you want a shadow to come on. It's like if you're painting something red and you want it to look dark in the corner, you can just add some green instead of adding some black, and it'll darken it up a little bit. Or make it look like a shadow without using black. So that's complementary colors. Now what we're gonna do, we're probably gonna have to get another plate to get to do the next part. The next part, you're gonna try to pick a color. I'm gonna pick red. And then I'm gonna give you a little dab, just a little dab of black. And you don't need a lot of black, just a little bit. And then you get a little bit of this white here. All right, here's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna make sure that our paintbrush is clean. I might get a new paper towel since I've been wiping it all with that other stuff. And now I'm gonna make it, when we did modeling and shading and we went from dark black to light, we went from dark to light with a pencil, and then what you're gonna do now is come in here, and if we're gonna paint red, I'm gonna pick right about here. And I'm gonna paint just the straight color in here. All right, there you go, you got straight color. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a little bit of this color, dab it there. And I'm gonna add a little bit of black to it. See how I got darker? And I'm going to come to this next square and I'm going to paint it. This is called a shade of red. Some people call it maroon, like the band Maroon 5. Cheesy segue. But then you're going to come in here. I'm not even going to clean out the brush. I'm going to just add a little bit more black. And I'm going to make a darker shade of the red. It's still red, but it's really dark now. Then I'm going to wash off my brush really well now. Make sure there's no red, no black, no maroon. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a big old chunk of red here. I'm going to put it right there. Now I'm going to add a little bit of white. And that makes pink. If you mix red and white, it makes pink, and it's called a tint. A tint of red is pink, and if you just have a little bit of white, it's really kind of hot pink. And then just keep adding white to it. This looks like bubblegum pink. And I just want you to practice getting as many different tints and shades of one color as you can. And I don't care what color you use on your little strip here, but and you could do that. You could probably get millions and millions of tints and shades of a color, but I just want you to practice. And then once you get done with this, you put both of these on the drying rack. Make sure your name's on them. And then if you get done before the class, you can take the extra paint you have on your palettes and maybe paint something in your sketchbook for fun. And then when you leave, before you leave, you're gonna make sure you go over there to the sink. You're gonna wash out your paintbrush and you're gonna put it brushes up in a cup. So make sure it's dry in a cup. Then you're gonna pour out this cup and rinse it out. And then before you leave, you're gonna throw the paper plates with your paint away. But make sure you use up as much of it as you can. And that should keep you busy for a while. Tomorrow we'll start something important. I hope y'all dig that.